All right, hi. Today I want to share with you some insights on how to move from being a manager to a director. And this was a question that I recently got from a manager who's looking into how he can move to a director's position. But here's the thing that we know that the middle management in companies at this particular stage in time, we are towards the end of 2025, that they are under threat. And we know about this because of AI and what's happening and the transition and the transformation happening in very many businesses. There are very many layoffs. We know about it. It's all over the news as well. Amazon, whether you take Apple, whether you take any industry itself, this middle management, they are under a big threat. So what I really want to do is that I want to give you a construct. I want to give you this framework which you can apply if you are a manager and you want to move into a position of a director. By the way, the opportunities are many as well, despite all these layoffs and the threats that we see, but there are equally multiple opportunities as we know. So here's the thing. The first and foremost is I use a model which is called impact. And impact stands for intention, mindset, people, accountability, cost leadership, and traction. My aim is towards the end of this video, you would have a framework to work with, and within 90 days, at least have the skills and the competencies to really think differently and move to that particular position. I just want to give you all the tools and mechanisms so that you are prepared for a position as a director. So this works with any industry anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter where you are based or what sort of industry or sector you are in. The first thing is intention, my dear friends. So what I want you to do is, from the impact model, the intention itself. So what I want you to do is make sure you have a clear intention. Energy flows where attention goes. The singular focus on your intention will lead to the impact to help you move and forge forward. So work on your intention. Be very clear what you are aiming for. So that is very important. So when you have the intention in place that you want to move from a manager to a director position, what exactly is it that you want to achieve as a director? Better status, salary, obviously title, position, whatever it is, but be extremely clear of what you want with the timeline. I call this POD, which means specific point of destination. So precisely work out what the timeline that you want to move to that particular position. So you have that set intention in place. The second one, which is a very important one, is mindset. I always say 80% is mindset, 20% is skill sets and competencies. And here's the thing. You need to make sure that you have that mental muscle, as I would put it, and you overcome some of the human barriers that we all know about. So there's ego, there's restlessness, there's self-doubt. All these barriers that we have as humans, you need to overcome that. So you'll say, how do I really overcome? I want you to be as present as possible in this particular moment. So, the being as present as possible is very important. Secondly, you need to be resilient as well. So, if somebody gives you constructive criticism, then you need to learn from that particular feedback. You might get good feedback, you might get negative feedback, whatever it is, but keep your mind open. It's not only about a growth mindset, I'm talking about co-elevation, because that is very important. So make sure that you have an open mindset, a growth mindset, something where you can sharpen your emotional intelligence as well accordingly. And the reason this is important is that you want to make sure that you have the right frequency, the right alignment with whomever you are having a discussion with. Let me move to the people place. Now this is very important. You need to network with the right people, and you need to raise your standards as well. And the only way you can raise your standards is obviously upskilling yourself, learning and development, but at the same time, when you network, you get different perspective, you learn more things, you are curious, you are incisive as well, and you ask those right questions as well, so that you can elevate your thinking, elevate your standards as well. So the people is an important component. You need to even network with the directors in your particular company, so you get a feel as to what is really happening. Building what I call this influential initiative. So how that works is that you start exhibiting your qualities as a director in some shape or form. Let's move to accountability. This is a very big piece in very many businesses. I know for a fact that very many businesses have at least about 10 to 15 gaps. These are profit leakages, these are gaps in their culture, these are disconnects, name it, but there are about 15 odd gaps that very many businesses have. Now, you need to have the clarity in place, and clarity comes in. Clarity is where the impact is, clarity is where the power is. So whatever the performance indicators of a director material is required, you need to start working towards those. Accountability is very important, and accountability means owning up for whatever it is. So you need to start owning up, and you need to start exhibiting that core accountability in place. And accountability, you need discipline as well, which means you need to even shift your behaviors as well. So that is very important. Work on your accountability piece so that you can work towards the alignment in your business. There are two things that you need to really work with. Align with the purpose of the company. So you are aligning with their values, you're aligning with their strategy, you're aligning with how they think, what they do as well. So that is the first alignment. And the second is aligning with your personal progression path, because you have a mission as well, personal mission that you need to work with. Those are the two core elements. When it comes to accountability, you need to make sure it's non-negotiable. No matter what happens, you need to be very careful. Pick up cues as to, are there any assumptions? Is there something that you can improve within the system itself? And you need to share this with the CEO, with the board as well. If you're close to them, then you can share this with them. I remember in one particular instant, there was a head of finance who wanted to be a director. And what he used to do was, he used to always contribute towards the strategy, or he would look into how the company can transform certain systems. And that is when he got noticed. So when it comes to accountability, you need to figure out as well and try identifying gaps within your business and pinpoint those particular gaps so that they can see that you are not a good leader. A good leader is one who's solving problems, but a great leader is the one who can identify the root cause and make those shifts, make those changes as well. So that is what you need to aim for. Let's move to cost leadership. Now, cost leadership is very important, and here, this is where very many have a fundamental flaw. Board meetings, the discussions at the top, most important is return on executive time. So you need to see and figure out how can you optimize return on executive time. What else can the company do to really shape up, to work towards that alignment to ensure that they optimize return on executive time. And I know for a fact that there is hundreds of thousands of dollars just wasted in many companies out there just because of lack of return on executive time. So work towards that particular aspect. And then traction, look into what else you can do for the company. For example, the policies, you need to read all the policies. I'm talking about the board level policies. So seek permission, see what you can do, but tell them that you are keen on finding out how you can really contribute. So traction is where you are going to look into the other elements as well. And you need to be a good communicator. You need to be a good negotiator as well at the end of the day. So that the board notices you and you are adding value, genuine value. Being a director, the first thing you need to do is be authentic. And the way you can be authentic is be yourself. And that requires you to raise your standards. So once you start raising your standards, you will see that it will start making an impact to that particular organization, your organization. And you need to openly look out for that particular position, talk to the CEO, talk to the board, find out about opportunities, but at the same time, bite-sized contribution every now and again. See how you can help them in their strategy, see how you can help them in other aspects. And what's that going to do is they will start seeing you as an influential personnel within your particular company. So you need to contribute towards the decision making as well. And there are very many elements that you need to really work towards, because you're looking at this strategic element, strategic level. As a manager, you might be managing a team, you might be looking into operations, and you're looking into other aspects in your business. But when it comes to being a director, that's a completely different ballgame altogether. You need to understand and learn what governance is all about, the oversight mechanisms, the way reports are presented. I always favor a 1 or a 2-page blueprint. When I did a 1 or a 2-page blueprint for a company, that particular company, I was instrumental in the growth of that company 20-fold. So come up with some sort of concept or some sort of value drivers which will help the business further. I want to add one more point. AI. This is non-negotiable. You must upskill yourself when it comes to artificial intelligence. See how AI can coexist in a boardroom as such. So you are seeing AI just help with the data and the other elements just to build in that particular efficiency, because that is going to give you an edge. That will help you to move forward. The other thing is you need to even make sure you have the financial competence, because everything, all the decisions made, everything going on in the particular business directly or indirectly impacts the finances of the company. So you need to look into the financial and learn what financials are. Read beyond the numbers. I'll be doing other videos on this, but what you need to do is read beyond the numbers itself. And one more point is have an edge. What is your raw talent? What makes you distinct? What makes you unique? You need to find out exactly why they would want you in the boardroom itself. What's that quality that you have which others don't have, and how are you going to add to that particular mix? So work towards these few points, and one thing I can promise you is that if you start working towards this, you'll start adding more mileage, you'll start moving the needle, you'll start seeing that there is deeper interest in what you are doing. That is going to help you to have the right building blocks to take you to that particular level. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe to my channel, because I'll be sharing more insight-driven videos on this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye for now.